Sometimes it's easy to forget why we started playing Smash Ultimate in the first place. I mean, at least in my case, just because I had fun with the game, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of you watching as well. So, one of my school friends, who's in Margaret River at the time, which is like 4 hours drive south of Perth, he got a Switch, he got Smash Ultimate, and when I went down to visit him for a week, we played the shit out of that game for probably the whole time we were there, just versing the CPU level 9s, trying to beat those. I was playing Lucina, he was playing Kirby, and yeah, when we beat the level 9 CPUs, we lost it. We went crazy. Never beat that high since. No, but in all seriousness, like sometimes it's pretty easy to forget, when we start our competitive journey into Smash, it's not always about the competitiveness factor. We got into it in the first place because it was fun, and we got to find some way to get satisfied with slowly growing over time, not necessarily the results that we have. Because sometimes results aren't entirely within our control. I mean, sometimes we're just having a bad day, sometimes we have bad bracket, sometimes we're just feeling cold. So if you tie happiness just to results, then I think that's an easy trap to have. To always want to, I went 2-2 at my tournament last week, I want to go 3-2, or now you got a goal to get top 8 or something like that, or get top 10 in your region. I think that's kind of a pitfall of a goal to have, because now you're just tying your happiness to something, I don't know, somewhat in your control, somewhat out of your control, something material. Whereas, if you find a way to slowly, or get satisfied with the slow progress, the slow grind, seeing the hard work you've put in for a long time pay off, I don't think you can really go wrong. I don't know. I think this is some deeper level of satisfaction you can get from slowly getting better at a hobby, something you enjoy, something you might have an affinity for. I think it's just a really cool thing to have in your arsenal, I suppose. In today's generation of instant gratification and dopamine hits, slowly working towards your goal is, I don't know. I think it's a thing that's sort of been lost, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah, just playing for fun, playing not to strive to be something or be someone. Just enjoying the process, enjoying the highlights. Yeah, in my eyes, I don't think you can go wrong with that. But anyway, we're currently heading to College Dropout number 39, I believe, which is at Planet Royale. It's in the heart of Perth, in the CBD. Not sure how today's bracket's going to go. Still going to be practicing what I talked about in the last car talk, which is prediction versus reaction, trying not to force things too much, and sort of being more patient and waiting, but still doing coverage, still doing all these things. So, keeping a simple game plan. The things I'm focusing on week to week might not change hugely. Might have some new ideas I want to try and stuff, but I think it's good to at least have like these big core perspectives. Sit with them for a little bit, explore them, see how it goes. So yeah, almost there now. So probably catch you after for the VOD review. So yeah. So I managed to get a string game from the College Dropout I was going to in the car talk. However, I was a bit worried initially because the Twitch stream ended up looking like this, which was totally unwatchable. And that's because the TO's data ran out apparently during the tournament. Fortunately enough, he was just recording it on his laptop itself, managed to upload the VOD. So that's what we got here. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the match. So I'm versing Seb or Zora Boyfriend. Initially, actually, game 1, they were playing Duck Hunt, but now they're playing ZSF. So I'll just talk about one thing. So 3, 2, 1, go. I spawned the bike. Why is that in particular? Well, I think bike's really useful in this matchup for a few reasons. For one, if ZS has nares on it, as you've seen here, it puts her in a lot of hit stun, so you can sort of punish her that way. So it's useful in the sense that it can sort of block and cause her to have lots more hit stun on her aerials. It also, if I have access to throw it, the F throw really controls this aerial space that ZSS likes to tend to be in. And yeah, the third thing is it sort of forces situations, because in this matchup, I think both characters really struggled to hit each other. So ZSS is really fast on the ground. She jumps high, controls the air with her Zair or with her aerials. So Wario has a really tough time getting in the first place. She sort of controls a lot of space, and can sort of choose when she wants to interact with him. So she can really circle camp around him, not interact unless she wants to, and Wario can't really force anything other than the bike situation. The other thing is, well, on the inverse side, ZSS really struggles to hit Wario because he's low to the ground. He moves really fast through the air, and yeah, her hitboxes are really small as well. Also, another thing I forgot to mention as well for ZSS, yeah, she's really thin, a little bit tall, but not hugely tall. And yeah, Wario can kind of struggle to hit her for that reason as well. A lot of her box shifting as well. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, let's just keep getting back into the match. You can see I threw the bike up and they're quick to just hit me first. So in my head, I'm thinking, I think they really like to interact around the bike. They force the situations when the bike situations happen, I guess. So that's going to sort of enable me to play the game, I guess. Inching my way out of the corner, but I'm struggling with Zers at the moment. That's one thing I'm noticing. I noticed during the match as well. Kept getting hit. I was already picking my timing as well when I wanted to move. Good punish on the flip kick though, back to ledge. And yeah, we'll see how I sort of adapt to the Zer, but I mean, the general idea is just going to be stay more grounded, shield, and pick my timings better when I want to move. Not just, when she's landing, do I now go in? Because obviously I'm just going to get Zed. So picking my timings a bit better. We're just sort of playing games around the bike, interacting around it. Good Zer there, catching me out. I didn't think she punished me there. Oh, I meant to jump, by the way. That was an accident with the wheelie. Yeah, really struggling with Zer at the moment. I think from here, actually, I start playing a lot slower, playing more grounded, not forcing things in the air as much, because I realize that sort of just controls that area if I try and approach too recklessly horizontally to it.
And also, hang on. Take a seat, mate.
Let's see.
Where are you?
Lots of jabs after landing aerials, I noticed. I didn't notice it at the time, but probably maybe just hold shield, get a punish off the jabs. So she can mix up how many jabs she does. Okay, F2, second F2 closing out the stock there. And I've got half watt, so obviously in my head I'm thinking I want to use it as stock. Building up percent. Just trying to stay just outside burst range, but I think maybe I'm going too far out. I'm giving too much stage control. That's a little unfortunate, actually. Let's see. I thought that up air was close, but let's see. So yeah, just mistiming that a bit. So I think if I just jumped a bit earlier to catch, I could have caught her here, but now she's past me and she's got a really thin hitbox. So yeah, it just misses. I think her box shifts down when she lands as well. So up air didn't connect, unfortunately.
What was the score?
Historically, I have a habit of when I miss an easy walk setup, I'm guilty of just ripping it. So I don't do it this game. So that's good. That's a nice dare from service. Close out. Okay, yeah, didn't force. I wasn't in a good position to waft the air dodge. But in this position though, I've still got waft on my mind. Maybe too much, because maybe it's a little obvious I still want to do it. But in my head I'm thinking, okay, maybe Seb recognises that they're actually at a decently high percent. They've sort of noticed I haven't gone for the wafts. Maybe he's just like, okay, he's going to close out my second stock, then use the waft to close out the third stock. So in my head I'm thinking, maybe I can catch him going aggressively, doing those zairs he was doing in the air when he jumps forward. And then if I'm in the right position, I might be able to super armor and punish. So I sort of just wait, full hold, wait till I see it, boom. Pull the switch when I see him jumping forward. So that was good. Now I'm thinking playing maybe a little slower, seeing if I can get half waft. I think I wafted at 410, so 55 seconds after I get half waft. Okay, that was an accident. Okay, so racking up percent. Yep, getting some damage. Seb's got a decent lead here. It's a bit of a scary position, so I was thinking just playing it slow, see if he forces anything, and then maybe I can get half waft if he's taking it too slow. They're playing with the bike too much there. Yeah, I was trying to hit him into the bike there, but I could have done a down throw maybe into the bike. Oh yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, you were hit by the bike, then I grabbed him out of the hit. So I'll just make a comment here actually, because I know what's going to happen next. So if you saw Seb jumped backwards, and I think his intention was to be facing this way, and then he could down air like this, catch a neutral get up, and then down smash roll. That's what he told me after anyway. Unfortunately, he's turned this way and is about to have a very unfortunate SD. I'll make the comment though at this point. Well, I'll make a comment after we see what happens, I guess. So let's turn that off. Yeah, so unfortunate down air SD. Just pause here from Seb. That's just unlucky. We talked about after. Yeah, that's just unlucky, I guess. So if you recall, 410 was when I used the waft. So 253, that's 1 minute 27. So yeah, I get full waft at 055 and 150 is full waft. So I'm pretty much got fully charged half waft. Because if you didn't know, every 5 seconds you get an extra 1% damage on half waft, and that leads to more knockback as well. So this is pretty well charged. And yeah, in that position before he SD'd, I was sort of thinking about half waft, but yeah, didn't get the chance to use it. I will say, if you've stuck around, I've got a little neat trick for the Wario, from the Wario mains, I guess. So this is something I use, but basically Wario's character, when he has no waft, when he first uses it, or when he doesn't have it, you actually can't see the skin on his belly like this. And the more that the waft charges, the more his belly grows, and then eventually you can actually see his skin like this. And that's a clear sign that he's got the half waft here, whereas the full waft is, when he's growing, glowing yellow. So that's a nice tell, I guess, if you're not sure on time, or you're not sure if your opponent has the half waft, if you have the half waft. The biker skin is a great way to see that. The base skin, normal skin, the yellow and purple one, that doesn't have this feature. Only Biker Wario shows this way. Anyway, just a nice little interesting fact, I guess. So, yeah, pretty interesting game to review. I think I did a good job at adapting, not getting swatted out of the air like I was with Zaire in the first stock, playing it sort of slow, methodically, got a nice full waft on his Zare when he probably wasn't expecting it, and yeah, playing slow at the end, racking up descent. So a pretty interesting game to look back on. Yeah, pretty happy with how it played. So hey, so this car talk is actually after the fact because my recording actually cut out in the middle of my car talk on the way back from the venue. So yeah, I just thought I'd just record it after the fact. I'm just at uni at the moment, looking for a parking spot. So, you know, why not just do the car talk here, I suppose. So just to talk about the games from yesterday. So I ended up going 2-2, which I was pretty happy with. I had a tough opponent first, Seb. He went duck hunt. I was a little bit less familiar with that matchup. And ZSS barely clutched out. He had a bit of an unfortunate SD at the end there, which kind of sucks. A little bit of an anticlimactic finish. But overall, I think I was playing pretty well. Then I versed Eva, who plays Ness. She's a pretty good player, a PR player. Ended up going 0-2 versus her, but game one I got 2 stocked, and game 1 I got 2 stocked, and game 2 I ended up bringing it to last stock. So I think I was getting better at sort of figuring out her timings, picking my spots better, because she's a pretty fast player, and initially I was getting a little bit overwhelmed by her pressure, but then I'm sort of adapting, finding a way to counter, hold my own space, not get pushed to the corner so easily. Then after Eva, I played... who did I play? Oh, I played one of my bracket demons actually, Shani Pooza, who plays banjo. I've never beaten him before. I've always gone... I think my record's 0-7, 0-6. I actually don't know the exact record, but I've never beaten him before. Recently though, I've sort of been edging towards beating him. I've been really close 1-2s, and yeah, glad it finally happened, I suppose. I beat him 2-0. So I was playing pretty patient, not always trying to interact with his mind games around grenade or neutral B as well. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how I was playing that, and yeah, pretty cool to beat my bracket demon, I suppose. So after Sean, I played Cheesy, or Charlie is his name. He plays DK, and he's the DK I versed last week at the UWA tournament as well. Ended up losing 0-2. I actually got 3 stocked game 1 because I just was struggling to kill, and he ended up choosing one of my stocks. And then game 2, that was last stock, so a bit of a closer situation. I think I was struggling to find the balance of picking some good spots versus like overly being patient. I think with the DK matchup, I don't think you can just like wait and like poke and like just be patient. I think you gotta like pick your spots. You gotta pick your spots, poke them out a bit, make them make a mistake. And I wasn't doing a good job of like punishing his disadvantage, like, or finding a good way to punish. So, for example, he was landing on my shield. I could have done a bit more out of shield stuff. Or when I was juggling him, he'd always like double jump and disadvantage. He'd always double jump and disadvantage, and I just end up trying to follow him in the air. Whereas I think it's better to sort of do like up tilts, landing up airs, or try to get some out of shield stuff on his landings to keep him in disadvantage that way. So let's see. Yeah, just some things to note from that, I suppose. So just have to think about that. Yeah, just got a parking spot. Someone's leaving now. which is sick. So yeah, I guess I'll just wrap up quickly. So I've got a upcoming tournament on Sunday called the Cyrcadia, which is basically the format of that tournament is if you're a PR player or you're a PR player in previous seasons. PR means top 10. You're not allowed to participate in the main bracket. So it's sort of like a battle for mid-level players to see how they go, compete with each other. So that should be a really interesting tournament. Some people have expected me to sort of go top 8, might be a serious contender to win, but I don't want to sort of put any expectations on it. Just sort of see how it goes. I'm going to study up on a few players, so the main characters I'm sort of looking out for are Ness, Lucas, Bayonetta, Luigi, K. Rool, and Cloud and Ridley. Those last two I'm the most familiar with, but I'll still do some studying. And maybe a few other matchups if I see just some out there ones I'm not too familiar with. Yeah, so I'll probably record a video for that, and yeah, I'm pretty keen to see how it goes there. So yeah, don't really have much more to say. Just parked at uni, so now I just head in, get my study done. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch you probably for the Arcadian video. See you then.